Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for watching another episode of my show. Today, I'm introducing you to Priviledge and Kudo, who run a wonderful NPO called Megas in Motion. So, if you will tell us a little bit more about your organization and what you do.
Thank you so much, Melanie, and good day to all the viewers and all the listeners. Well, my name is Kuda, and I'm here with our CEO and founder of Megas in Motion, that is Privilege. Basically, Megas in Motion, it's an NPO based in the community of Orange Farm, with a primary focus on education and training of women, children, the youth, and the disabled from marginalized communities. The vision when we sat down to come up with the organization was that marginalized communities, they are lagging behind in a lot of things. And with education and training being a key component, um, we also feel that if people get equipped with the proper skills and training, they can be better placed to support themselves and have better livelihoods. This is in areas like the townships and the rural areas. So that is Mega's emotion. The vision also was that there are talents and there's greatness in each and every one of us. It's just that sometimes one might not have the platform to excel and to shine. So with a little bit of support, people coming together, in different capacities, then it's possible to actually support somebody to become a better somebody and be a megas in motion. The word megas, it's actually a Greek word which means greatness. So if we're going to translate it, it will actually read greatness in motion.
I love
That
that.
there's greatness in each and every one of us. Yes. So that is in a nutshell what Megas in Motion is all about.
I love that. I love that. And I think you guys are doing very, very important work. I've
Thank
worked
you.
into the skills development space for many, many years. And I've always been frustrated that particularly disabled people are often so marginalized in our country. So I love that you're bringing out the greatness in others. I think that's an awesome cause. Now, how long has your organization been in place?
We officially launched, like that is the registration with the Department of Social Development. That was on the 27th of August, 2019. So we are relatively new.
Okay.
We are not yet a year old. All right, because we turn a year old on the 27th of August.
Okay.
So I think we can simply say we've been running for 11 months now. This is on a registered basis. Yes.
Okay. Now, you've started a business. I bet you didn't think when you started on the 11th of August when you registered the NPO that this year would come with so many challenges.
You can say that again. That's true, Melanie. We never anticipated COVID-19, and the reality, especially here in the township, the pandemic has drastically changed a lot of things. We were having programs that we're running with from last year of doing homework assistance, like for the children, primary school learners, which meant that would meet with the children and would help them with homeworks and their tasks and everything. Now, because of the COVID-19, doing such programs has had to, take a back shelf in a sense, because people are not allowed to meet and congregate. So things are now having to be done online, which is a different ball game altogether. So it has really drastically changed the landscape of even some of the way we were intending to do the projects, you know.
Mm.
So yes, 2020, a very interesting year. But the worst part, especially here in the township, has been the impact of people not having any income. Families are going hungry
Mm.
to such an extent that we're to sit down now to say, you know what? Yes, education and training is our trust, but there's no one who's going to learn anything if they're hungry.
Mm.
So we had to now sit down and draft a COVID-19 response,
Mm.
you know, which addresses the concerns and really the needs that we have in our community. Um, we started a mobile food kitchen,
Mhm.
which we're running with for the children, because before they were getting food at school, you know, they'll get supplementary feeding at schools, but now because they're not going to the schools, they are not getting any food. There's
Mm.
no food at home because parents, most are informal traders, and they're surviving on piece jobs.
Mm.
So now with the lockdown and the economy taking the turn that it did, there's no food at home.
Mm.
So we had to dive into that space. Also, we also launched food parcel distribution, you know, in our community, focusing again on the disabled, focusing again on women-led homes because they're the most vulnerable.
Yes.
Um, so wherever there are children, that's where we are zooming in more.
Mm.
Where there are disabled people, some women, you know, they're coming from very bad backgrounds in terms of relationships, like gender-based violence, things like that. So we've been zooming in on those vulnerable groups that we're having within
Mm.
our community to sustain them with food.
Mm.
And we're actually very thankful that a number of organizations have come to our assistance. You know, people like the Angel Network,
Mm.
that is Glenn Woman, Africa Awake, that is Bianca Rothschild, EPUB has also come on board to help us through Justin. We also have some links with the Food Forward group. They've been periodically just assisting us as well along this journey. So it has really been quite remarkable
Mm.
how people have, you know, come to us as well to help support these initiatives as well.
Mm. It's wonderful to
Mm.
hear that you are getting support during this time. It must have been very difficult for you to transition from a plan that you'd laid out to now doing something completely different to what you were expecting to do at this time of year.
It's true. But we are quite thankful that, you know, as a community-based organization, we are sort of like in a position to react immediately to
Yes.
the needs that we're having in our community. So the people actually come to us and they tell us, because we are on the ground, we say, look, we are hungry.
Mm.
If you can help us with food. You know, the youth, you know, young people, they're also quite affected. Eh?
Mm.
They come, we engage, we talk. So that we're on the ground has helped us to react as quickly as possible
Mm.
to some of these needs as they have arisen.
Mm.
And also even the response from the corporate world, because it was never on the plan to be doing the mobile food kitchen per se. But we actually approached people like Investec, and they helped to sponsor us to get the materials for cooking. You know,
Okay.
because now when you're going cooking, you need the pots, you need the gas stoves, all those materials which were not in the original plan.
Mm.
So they also responded quite positively, and we are quite thankful. And so it has really been an interesting journey. it has been an interesting journey. And the beautiful thing for us at the moment is the support, which has been coming through. We still have a number of things that we want to run with,
Mm,
because we strongly feel that the part of education and training, in spite of the COVID-19, it should not stop,
mm,
because we're also sensing and getting feedback from our community that the children are not learning.
mm,
The longer they are going to stay without any learning happening,
mm,
the more affected they will be.
mm.
And we're praying and hoping that this COVID-19 will also become a thing of the past. Our lives have to go on.
Yes,
So we have initiatives that we really want to run with on the education and training, although it will be on a different path from the one that we thought of, because of the online requirements that we might need to look at. And even we are looking at gardening, because for medium to long term,
yes,
we can't keep on finding food.
yes,
People need to be trained and to get to that state of mind where they can also be able to produce food for themselves.
yes,
So we're looking
yes,
at options like that, where we even support our communities to make their own food.
yes,
Then we won't have to worry about people going hungry,
yes,
because at least they'll have a vegetable source, for example,
mm,
where you're having your greens from the garden, and then maybe you only have to worry about getting the staple. It's
mm,
better that way, rather than there's nothing at all.
yes.
It's a difficult space.
What I'm loving about your story is that one, you're responding directly to needs, and that two, you're trying to look for long-term solutions to get people to be self-reliant rather than just relying on inputs from outside. So I think that's a very empowering space to be working in.
Yes,
So,
Melanie.
Privilege, I'm curious to hear from you too.
Mm,
What is your
mm.
role in the organization?
Um, these days, I'm the one who is focusing more on the marketing.
Okay,
We
okay,
do not have any funds to hire anyone, so currently I've been doing a lot of marketing.
okay, okay.
Yes,
And you were, in fact, the one who contacted me to set this up, so well
yes,
done.
yes.
You're definitely getting out there.
Thank you.
Mm.
And what has been your biggest challenge with that role during this time?
To be honest, I sent like 200 proposals. I
Mm,
get maybe two positive responses.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people during this time are just kind of overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you how many requests for help I've had in my mailbox,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't even respond. You can't. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't even write another polite letter to say, you know what, I can't help you, because the reality is, as an individual, I simply cannot help everybody who asks me. And
True, true.
I think that a lot of people are feeling that way right now. They don't even know how to keep themselves alive, let alone
Mm-hmm.
support
Mm-hmm.
others.
I
So,
completely understand.
yeah, yeah. So you must be experiencing a lot of fatigue in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are people watching who would like to support you, maybe they want to send you food, maybe they want to send you some resources, maybe they would like to give you some money, how would they find you?
Well, we we do have our website,
Okay.
and that's another testimony on its own, because we never did have a website until last week. So we are so thankful to a gentleman. He's in the Cape.
Okay.
He had to work through those Cape storms. His name is Vinard Bauer. He's the
Okay.
one who came to our help. He helped us to set up the website and
Okay.
everything. So we now have a website where people can go and see the work that we're doing. They can also get the link to our bank account details as well. And
Our social media.
our social media pages, we also have a page on Facebook.
Okay.
Again, Megas in Motion. You can also access even our information there as well for
Yes.
the account. And sometimes we do actually have people who deliver food on site, you know. They like someone you can phone, okay, I've got some food that I have, and can I deliver? People are doing that. And then also on some instances we've had to go actually and collect from people. People have called to say, look, we have got these products which we think that they can help with the work that you're doing, and we've organized transport to go and collect. So all these are variable options that depending on people that they can use. And people have been so kind, even with like things like clothes, for the children, and books, for reading, stationery packs. Those were just fantastic, because the children were so happy and excited to say, you know what, now we've got schoolwork to do.
Yes.
So we appreciate all those forms of help, whichever, not necessarily the food, but whatever people feel that I can bless someone with, because the community where we are, it's a community where people are not having everything. So even your second-hand clothes, they can be so helpful to somebody. The blankets, we got some blankets, is it a week or 2 weeks back?
Yes, yes.
And people were so happy because we're talking about people who are living in shacks. It's so cold during winter. We're thankful it looks like the cold is going. Baby clothes, those were also quite helpful. So www.megasinmotion.co.za, that's our website, where people can access this information.
Okay. When I share this video, I will be putting all the links with the video when I share it, so that it's easier for people to find.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
Now,
Thank you so much.
it's a pleasure. Now, for people who are watching, how many people are you actually feeding right now?
I'll put it at approximately 350.
Wow.
And the bulk of those 350, Melanie, is children.
Okay.
We've got about 35 disabled people, in various forms of disability. Some are on crutches, some are on wheelchairs, and some are like not mobile at all. And then another big component is women. Also on that 350, we've got a big number of women that we are helping to support as well. And there are also a few men there as well, like mostly the elderly, because we felt that if somebody maybe we are assessing to say this person, even if they wanted to go to work, but they might not be physically able to, and it's a male, then we can extend help there as well. So that's sort of like the demographics. It's mostly the children. Even when you go on our pictures as we do the feeding drives, you see mostly it's a lot of children. And then we do have families where mom is not working and there are children there. Those ones we put on food parcels, so that at least they can have something to sustain them as well.
So what do you enjoy the most about what you do?
To be honest, I'll speak on a personal level.
Mm.
I love people. I love putting smiles on, especially on little children. You know, when they eat and their food, they come and hug me, they come and wave, hi, thank you, auntie. It warms my heart. It makes me feel so happy. I love people and I love helping people.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So,
For me, um, I, 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 I I feel that each time I develop somebody, you know, because I'm more onto the education and training.
mm,
Um, when I feel that if somebody is empowered, you know, academically, if somebody is empowered with a skill, I
mm,
feel that that is a lifelong change, which makes that person better, and
mm,
that's the satisfaction that I get,
mm,
you know, um, from the work that we're doing.
mm. That is really awesome. It's wonderful to hear about the work that you're doing, and I really feel that it's coming from a great place inside both of your hearts.
Thank
You
you,
Oh,
know,
thank
Melanie.
you.
great. You are great role models for our whole country. And if everybody in our
Thank
country
you.
could just step forward and be the change they want to see in the same way that you are, I think we'd be in a very, very different place.
Thank you.
There are people who are there, you know, like that, really. It's true.
And one day there will be more of us than those who are corrupt
Yeah,
and who are just out there to get it for themselves. And if we can all just rise up in our power, then I think we can shift
mm,
the tide. So
yes,
thank you for being great role models for everybody to look to.
no, but thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.